Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today is episode 5 of the train station rebuild in my LEGO City. So let's get started. Alright, so this is what the train station currently looks like here, and it just looks like a box. It's nothing really crazy yet. I did off camera, every time I find a tile, or a bracket, I just end up putting one over here. But in my most recent bricks and pieces order, I got a whole bunch of pieces for the platform as well as the base construction of the walls here. And so today I want to focus on the platform mainly, and if I can get that done, I would like to get a layer or two of the base construction of the building done as well. I think that'll be really awesome. And so this is pretty much the design that I'm going for here. And so basically you just have a bracket and then a layer of light gray plate, a layer of yellow plate, and then a layer of light gray tile on it as well. And once you put all of that together, it looks something like this. And it has enough clearance for the 8 stud wide trains to come through. And it also allows 6 wide trains, obviously. But there is a little bit of gap with the 6 wide trains, but it's not the end of the world, because once you have a platform in on the other side, you won't really notice. So my goal is for today is to finish this entire section of platform here. And I know I don't have the expansion table in yet, but I would love to also get these sections of platforms started as well. I think that would be really awesome. And then, like I said, if I have time, I want to start doing some of this interior as well. All right, so I'm starting off by putting all of the brackets down, and then I'm pretty much just going ahead and adding in that yellow line up at the front. And then I'm going through my bin of all the pieces that I just got from that bricks and pieces order, and I am getting all of the 2x2 tiles out, and also a couple 1x2 tiles right at the end here, just to finish off most of the platform here. And then I'm going to come back and fix up all of the smaller portions of it once I get the wall in. All right, so I went ahead in the time lapse that you just saw. I finished off most of this platform here, and I left a couple of jumpers so I can have figures kind of dotted around, but I'm gonna have to go back in and maybe add another jumper or two over here. But I have those in my inventory, so that won't be a problem. That's why I didn't buy any in that bricks and pieces order. But I don't know if I'm gonna end up doing that today or if I'm gonna just do that another day once I actually put figures on this. But this looks pretty good so far. So now what I want to do is I want to continue this next section here, and then hopefully we can get this entire side done, and then we can start working on the base over here as well as the platform for the other side. All right, so I finished the line up at the front here, and I'm in the process of tiling it off now, but I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of extra added detail that I'm adding. So instead of using all plates throughout here, I've opted to use a couple of jumper plates every once in a while. If I can get this tile off here, I'm using a jumper plate every once in a while because they have a little lip on the bottom of them, and so that kind of makes it look like it's cracked and it's not exactly new. And so that's just a really easy way to add a little bit of texture to the build without having to do anything crazy. And so let me just finish working on the tile here, and then we can work on this last section, and then we can start working around the back, and then we will take it from there. All right, so I've pretty much finished this entire side over here. And on this end over here, what I'm going to add is a 1x6 plate with these 2 curved slopes on each end, and then a 1x4 tile in the middle. And pretty much this just sticks on like that there. And there is a little bit of a gap here, but I actually don't mind that. I think it looks all right. And then what I have to do is get another bracket, a 1x2 bracket, put that here, and then I can go ahead and place all the plates on the back here. And I actually quite like how this looks. This is really starting to come together, and I'm really happy with this. Unfortunately, I can't fit a tile on that masonry brick there because of the height of this of the bracket with all the pieces on it, but that's all right. This is not that big of a deal, I don't think. And I also want to go ahead and finally add in all of these pieces here as well. That's what this little pile of stuff is for, just to remind myself to do that, so I can just go ahead and add in all of these pieces in here and then add a couple cheese slopes in there as well. But Let me work on that really quick, and then I'm going to start working on the back end here, because if I don't do this first, I will forget, and it's going to stay open like this for a really long time. All right, so this whole thing is now done here, which is awesome. And so I'm going to go ahead around the back and make all of this, but I'm actually going to do it a little bit differently than this side here, because this side here, as you guys can see, has the bracket, a light gray plate, a yellow plate, and then the light gray tile. But instead of adding the same amount of stuff on the back and then just making this plate, instead of yellow, have it be light gray, because obviously there's no train here, what I'm going to do is actually just have one layer of light gray plate and then one layer of tile, because I don't need to have all of this extra width here. And then that way, the back end of it here is exactly one stud thick. So let me make a little bit of an example for you, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. All right, so as you can see, this is the exact same design as this side of the platform here. And as you guys can see, it sticks out by this tile here. So it's not a perfect thing that lines up here. And so if you tried to put this up against something else, it's just not. Let me rotate this for you. It's just not possible. Like, you can't fit anything on the studs there. Whereas with this, which I'm going to do on the back, is just the light gray plate and then the light gray tile. And there is no plate in the middle there. And as you guys can see, that lines up perfectly. So you can put this flat on the ground. You could put this flat up against a wall here, and there is no problem. So when I go ahead and figure out a ramp design that I want to put in here, then that won't be an issue overhanging anything. So that is probably the better way to go, and it also saves me some pieces, so I don't have to make 2 layers of plate back here for no good reason. So I'm going to work on this, and I'm going to do pretty much this whole back here, and then we can move on. All right, so I pretty much have this entire section done now. I pretty much made all of the necessary spots where all of the corner bricks are going to go for the base of the building itself. And I have these pillars in, and I'm starting to flesh that all out. And so now let me get some of those dark tan bricks in here, and we can start to map out where the building itself is going to be. And I think I'm going to save the tiling and the interior details for another video, but I want to at least get this done so I know I can kind of start to visualize where the train station building is going to be and where the platform is going to be. And I did also go ahead and replace one of these tiles with a cut tile here, this angled one. I think that looks pretty good. And I also did add a stud so I can have a figure stand in here. And I do still need to go back in and add maybe a couple more jumpers, especially in this area here. But I don't think it's the end of the world. I'm probably just going to leave it as is for now, and because I want to focus on this building here, and then eventually I would like to at least start doing the other side of the platform as well. All right, so I went ahead and I started working on this front facade here, and I did not get the dark tan corner bricks because they were not bestseller pieces, unfortunately. So I have to leave those gaps open for now, but I did build this up a little bit just so you can kind of get an idea of where this is going, and I will add more 2x2 bricks momentarily. But this is where the front door is going to be, and this is where each of the windows will go. And for those of you that don't know, I did actually digitally design this in Lego Studio, and that is pretty much what I'm basing this all off of now. I have the computer open just off screen here, and I'm using that as a reference. And so now I can look at it and say, okay, this second layer here is a 1x4 and then 2 1x1s. And then on top of that is a corner brick, a 1x1, and then this white masonry brick here. And it's pretty much just allowing me to effectively use what I bought. Because had I just said, oh yeah, you know what, I'll buy a certain number of 1x6 bricks, a certain number of 1x1 bricks, a couple masonry bricks, some 1x4, some corner bricks, then, you know, you could get somewhere with it, but it would take a lot more time to tinker with it and make sure that you're actually using all of your pieces. And then some of them might not get used, and then so it's just a waste of money at that point. But I mean, for this example, I would actually be using the pieces elsewhere, but I chose to digitally design this just because it's such a large project, and I wanted to make sure that I did it right and like it before I actually invested in it, which is what I did, which is pretty efficient, actually, I like to think. And so pretty much that is all that I'm doing now, is just following that plan. And so pretty much, and then you just go ahead and you add the corner bricks. And I will start adding the details on this side and that side as well, I think, just to kind of frame it up a little bit more. And then in the following videos of this rebuild series, we'll do the interior, and then we'll build the walls up once I get more pieces. And then that will be pretty much the first floor done, which is actually pretty insane to think about. So let me get to work on the other sides here, and then I will show you guys how that looks as well. All right, so I went ahead and I built up this side here, and I made it a couple extra bricks taller, so I had to go ahead and make that match over here. And the reason why I'm leaving these spots for the windows open, both on this side as well as all the other sides of the train station right now, is simply because the sand blue windows that I wanted were not on the bestseller portion of the website. So nothing I can do about that for now. And then these 1x8 plates on each edge here is where the doors will be. So there'll be a set of double doors here, a set of double doors here by the ramp, and then a set of double doors here by the stairs. And then there's not going to be any doors. It's just going to be windows along that back wall there. But another thing of concern was that this tree would not have enough clearance here, but that's actually why I started building this up. And it actually seems like it'll be all right. And so if I actually take an extra brick here, it actually does fit here. So that is not a problem at all, which is really nice to see. And so now that this whole area is starting to get fleshed out, let me start working on that platform over here, and we'll see how that looks. All right, so for this other side of the platform here, this is where this 1x3 brick is where the expansion table starts. And so everything to the right of this will not have an expansion table in front of it to make the platform wider. So literally all I'm doing is just making a stack of 2x brick, and then I am just making a cutout of the platform here. This is pretty much just half of the platform here, and then the other half would be on the expansion table if it was here, but that is what this to the left is going to be for. And so this is literally it. It's just a couple brackets, the plate, the yellow plate, and then the light gray. And then for the curve at the end, that is what I'm doing there. And I think it looks pretty good, actually. I might swap this bracket for a 2x just so this doesn't start spinning on me. But other than that, I think this looks pretty good, and it's pretty basic. And then you just clip this in pretty much. And then I am continuing that all the way down here. So let me finish this section, and then we can go on to working on the part where the expansion table is going to be. All right, so this is what I've been creating here. This is pretty much where the expansion table is going to start, right here. And so this is pretty much how it's going to look. And I quite like that, actually. I think it looks good. And then this will have the same yellow stripe on it because there will be a train track right here. And then the main line right here is obviously going to have the platform on both sides. And that is actually going to look pretty good. The reason I stopped here is because of the base plate seam. So I'm just going to create another section just like this. And this pretty much just sits on here. And then the only thing connecting it really is going to be this 2x2 tile and the other plates on the brackets here. And this is what it looks like underneath. And I had to use 2x brick on the outside here because that's where you're going to see. So I wanted to, you're going to actually see this side here. Oops. But so you're going to see that side. So I wanted to actually just ensure that you can see the light gray brick instead of the open inside that doesn't look so great. So that looks pretty good, I think. And then I also went ahead and I tiled off the bottom here so it's easily removable. And I'm going to do the same for all of the platforms going to the left here, just so it's easily removable if I ever need to remove the expansion table for whatever reason. So just kind of planning ahead a little bit here, but overall, I think this looks pretty good and I'm quite happy with this. And we are starting to finally get that look here that I'm going for. So I'm pretty happy with this. Let me continue working on it and I will be back with more progress. All right, so I'm working on this next section here, and I do still need to add in the rest of the tiles as well as the bricks underneath for what's going across from this section here in this spot right here. But I did overestimate how many yellow plates I had, because when I was placing the order, I was like, oh, you know what? I have a bunch of yellow plates in my inventory already. I don't need to buy a bunch. I feel like that's just a waste of money. And so I bought a very small handful, like 4 or 5 1x4 plates, and then like 3 or 4 1x8 plates. And that was not enough in conjunction with the parts in my inventory. So I am short. I do definitely have some more yellow plate, but I don't think it's going to be enough to finish this and the last section that goes across from that there. So that is kind of unfortunate. I will not be fully finishing the platform today, but I will get very close. And so I'm pretty happy with this so far. So let me add the bricks in and try to find some yellow plate and see how far this gets me. All right, so over here is where the last section is going to go, and I made this really quick. Again, I am out of yellow plate, unfortunately, so I can't add that or the tiles in at the end, but this actually fits on like so, because I did the same as this section here, and I put some jumper plates down and some tiles. And then, so this is just so, like I mentioned earlier, this can be easily removed if I can even get it on. There we go. And so now, whenever I get that expansion table in, this will rest on that as well. And then if I ever need to remove it, it's a very simple thing to do. And this is, I brought the Orient Express in over here, and that is what it looks like in the station here. I think this looks really, really awesome. I think it's really starting to come together. Here is a shot from the front end of the train station that you first see when you walk into the room here. And I do just need to clean up that little mess right there. And these were the only plates I could find, but I don't want to use 1x2s in here. I feel like that's kind of a waste. So I'm going to just leave it for now. I probably will just end up buying some more yellow plate, and then I will call it a day. But that is pretty much it. And so this whole thing, this entire side is pretty much done, which I am extremely happy about, and it continues down that way even more, and I will show that to you right now. And so I am extremely, extremely happy with this. This looks great. And so on that note, that is going to wrap up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what I did, make sure to like the video and subscribe, as well as click the bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads. If you guys have any feedback for me on this train station or this platform design or anything else in this area, make sure to drop a comment down below. And once again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.